Okay, today we're here to talk about trans women in sports. It has been a rough year for us, and every day it seems to get worse in this country. And even those who seem to be on our side don't seem to have their facts straight. Yes, I'm talking about you, Pete. We need to learn the facts about what is fair and unfair in sport, and truly what is the difference between cisgender and trans women in sports. Now, there's a couple things that are at the forefront of this. In the past, we all know Leah Thomas. Leah Thomas was a swimmer for the University of Pennsylvania. She won one championship. Yep, she won one race. And she did a great job at that one race, yes, but it was just one. And her time wasn't even that great. If she had competed with that same time in the years prior, 6 of the prior 9 years, she would not have won. And at that same event, there was 27 world records broken. She didn't break a single world record, but 27 other people did. So, yes, she's a great swimmer. Yes, she's a great athlete. Yes, she won one championship. And that's it. And aside from Leah Thomas, I would encourage you to name 2 other trans women that play at a collegiate or higher level, because we're all up in arms about trans women playing sports, and you can't even name 3. So let's figure out where our priorities lie. Most of the bills in this country right now, there are over 800 bills against trans folks in our country, and the majority attack trans children. Now, if we look from a research perspective, prior to puberty, prior to ages 12 or 13, there's virtually no difference between men and women. There's no difference between boys and girls physically and how they perform at sports prior to that age. So, with our young athletes, it doesn't even matter. They can play in whatever team they want. It's just about having fun, developing good relationships with our bodies, and learning some of those skills. Okay, it's about having fun as a team. Now, at those collegiate, those higher levels, yes, I understand there's scholarships at play, there's money at play, there's Olympic spots. But you know what? Trans people make up a very, very, very small part of the population. Okay, in collegiate athletics, trans women are less than 0.002% of the population. So they're not taking all these college scholarships away. They're not taking all these Olympic spots away because they're 0.002%. Okay. And at the Olympic level, there's even less. It's 0.001%. Okay. And the other thing we need to think about is that trans women are not just one day signing up to play women's basketball. Okay. You have to undergo tons of testing and lab work. You have to be on hormones for at least a year. And studies show that after that year of being on testosterone suppression with estrogen, there was no differences between cisgender and trans women. The Journal of Sports Medicine published this huge study in 2021. They actually found lung capacity and muscle mass worse in the trans group. So we're not, how can they be dominating women's sports when there's barely any of them? They're not the ones winning. And from a scientific standpoint, they have a disadvantage. Okay, then we have the argument, well, it's biologically unfair if they went through puberty because they went through male puberty and now they're bigger and taller and stronger. Yeah, okay, sports aren't fair. And what I mean by that is if you take a 6'3 woman, a cisgender 6'3 woman, you tell her you're made for basketball. But you take a 6'3 trans woman and you go, you cheated. It's biologically unfair. You're a man. And unfortunately, this disproportionately affects Black and brown trans women. So we all know Serena Williams. Serena Williams is an incredible tennis player. She is not trans. But because she wins a lot and because she's super strong, she's accused of being trans all the time. So it's disproportionately affecting these minority populations. The other problem with this is, how do we test, right? So we have 2 options basically for trying to rule out trans women in sports, right? Option 1 is we test every single woman. We make all of them do labs. Pretty hard to do, right? It's financially irresponsible. It's not going to happen. So then we've done option number 2, which is we're going to accuse people. So we're going to accuse you of being trans, and then those people have to go and get tested, which isn't fair. Because in cisgender women, testosterone levels vary, right? Not everybody has the same levels. So it's not fair that we're only testing certain individuals. And then, of course, because not that many people are actually trans, what we're doing is disproportionately targeting Black and brown cisgender women and accusing them of being trans, like Serena Williams, even when they're not. And then with a lot of these folks, what we're doing in a lot of these really red states is we're allowing children to be taken into a back locker room with adult men and having them strip searched to determine what their genitalia is. And if they have certain genitalia, then they can play on the girls' team. What are we doing? This is hurting all women. The other thing I think about is, we care about women's sports. Do we really care about women's sports? Because the people who are preaching about caring about women's sports are the same ones that allow over 60% of the universities in the NCAA not to abide by Title IX. So if we cared about women's sports, shouldn't we care about that? Because that affects a hell of a lot more people than the very, very, very small handful of trans women who aren't winning. So I would like to encourage you to do some more research, learn about what these policies actually mean, because you may think that trans people are your enemy. You may think that they're out to get you, but in reality, most of these bills are going to affect your sons and daughters, your neighbors, right? They're not going to affect trans women in sports because there's not many of them. Like to give a shout out to Skylar Baylor. He is an incredible trans advocate. His website, Pink Manta Ray, has a ton of good resources on it. He has podcasts, he has YouTube videos, he has TED Talks. Highly encourage you to listen and learn before judging.